Warning: the following contains content intended for older audiences and may contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome back to Taboo Talks. By now, you have all seen our viral clips on TikTok because we are famous now, barely. So we don't need any long introductions. But I am your host, Drea Renault. And today on Taboo Talks, we're looking at the topic of partying. Party, party, party. The act of turning up. But responsibly. I have 4 partygoers with me tonight, so let's have them introduce themselves. Let's start with Miss Wendy over here.
So I'm Wendy. Wendy.
I'm DJ Clark's guys.
Wait, hold on. This is an episode about partying. I don't feel that party energy, especially from the DJ.
I'm the renowned DJ Clark, so everybody know about guys. Apparently, I've been in your households already with that hot mix, or in the club, or on the seas. That's me, guys.
Whoop. Okay. Okay. How about you?
My name is Robin, and I am happy to be here to talk about partying.
That was a lovely introduction. Thank you.
I tried.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
everyone. My name is Keeson Samuels. I'm an avid drinker, and
Good to know.
I like Red Top.
Yes.
Yep.
Lovely.
Amen.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so let's begin. Since the Red Top Talk has begun. So, okay, what do you guys consider partying? Because we all have our own definition of partying. For me, a good party stays at home. Because, you have that privacy to do the things that, you would be otherwise filmed doing in public. So what do you guys, determine as a good time? What's a good time for you, Wendy?
Shots. Tequila shots on the table. And I'm fine with that. Like, just bring the tequila, man.
Okay. All
I
right.
like tequila.
All right.
So-
What's a party, Clarks?
Forgot you got a girlfriend, worries,
Oh,
bills, and just let loose.
Okay. I'm like hearing all of these, like this is like not that Katy Perry song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a spiritual kind of thing. You know? It's like you and the world, nothing
Okay.
else. Yeah, man.
No
It's a
stress,
release.
No worries.
Yes.
Yes, it's a time to like just build up and release.
Yes.
What's a good party to you guys?
A good party for me would be a DJ Clark mix with a lot of rum, to be honest. A lot of rum.
Okay.
I can feel your blush.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so do you guys pre-party? Of course.
Of course.
Right?
Definitely. Definitely.
That's the right thing to do. That's
As then pick me up, I'll be like, stop
a
that
ritual.
shot. Let's drink 3 beers. We have slug that down. When we reach 2 shots, and then one next beer.
Okay.
That's how you start out.
Yeah, pregame tends to
Pre-game
be like
is
the
good.
thing.
Yeah.
My one pretty intense. My one start fun. I did not the shower. I go and turn up the stereo. I go put on my favorite live show. And I go pretend like I had a mic and DJ at the same time in the shower, and I had a mix, and I had to go on pod and my hair to get wet. That are my
like that
prerequisites
DJ vibe because
before I hit the
used
club
to
and
it.
party. Yes, that would get me going.
yeah, because you have to start the vibe.
Yeah.
You have to start the vibe.
After.
So the Red Top that they pre-game?
So the only my pre-game involve a lot of rum first, like because like if you like I pre-game with a lot of rum, then I go to the club and drink more rum. So like that on my pre-game.
How long your nights last?
It's a 24-hour type of thing.
Curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like it was like
couple
by the
hours
time
later.
the
It
pregame
depends
started,
because,
and like
All
after
Alright,
that,
look,
like,
we
yeah.
talk before COVID, right? You would-
Before COVID.
We're talking-
That's actually a good way for kind of segue.
Another lifetime ago.
This is before
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah.
This is before, back in the day,
Back in the day.
when Coke used to be $1. Anyways.
Yeah.
The before time.
Big facts.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would pre-game for like a solid 2 hours, go to the club 10 o'clock, and then leave
When it closes.
when I start stumble. That's that. Yeah. When I start stumble, that time to go.
Responsible.
That's your internal clock.
Yes,
Telling
I
you
actually
to
see you a couple times, but you catch that fall pretty well. So kudos to you, bro.
Okay, actually, when I drink, I drop. I think that's why I don't drink like that. Like, that's why, like, when I am drinking, I will fall.
That
No matter.
maybe when at home is your venue.
You can jump right on your bed.
Makes
You're very preemptive.
The
like,
trick is to
smart.
start sitting down.
That's great advice, Kisa.
The trick is to start sitting down. So you can't get up. If I get up, it's over. You need to go.
Yeah.
on.
Well,
Follow
see,
Lisa.
usually I fall in like transition, like in route, like so. The last time I really fell on my face, I mean like balikin bash, and I legit was drinking all night. I mean a tight dress, high heel shoes, and then that made the walk from Princess to sit and sit.
Ooh. Like a whole mouth.
Fell on my face and I ate it.
You go.
Oh, you play that off?
Bash afterwards?
Hell yeah! But okay, when do you guys started to party? Because I feel like we live in Belize. The first thing we want, the first suspension you ever get, that because you made a drink back a bathroom or something of the sort, or you get catch, or you catch a like Cancun on Easter break. You know, that's grounds for suspension. When did you guys start? Like what age? At what age did you start disappointing your parents?
14.
14, definitely.
My first time I get drunk, I'll be honest, I get drunk. I pull on my ceiling fan and I drop on my face and I end up with a black eye. That's the first time I ever get drunk and I had to go to school the next morning because they tell me, you don't want to drink, no? Go to school.
Wow.
The fan?
Yeah, the ceiling fan. I drag it down, jump on my bed and
The girl
with a
stole it.
toothbrush in my mouth because I had to brush my teeth, you know. I put on
My
the fan
first
right on my
drunken
face.
experience, I was extremely scared. For one, why was the room spinning? I was
Yes.
sleeping.
The first time I get a helicopter, that was
Yes.
experience.
And I legit get
You
scared.
feel like you're gonna die.
I got into my mom and I said, Ma, I drank half a stout. Keep in mind, I was 14.
Half a stout?
Yes. This was the first time liquor went into my system.
No man.
So I was like, Mom, I was drinking and I think my brain is not, functioning well. Please take me to the hospital. No. I said, what am I gonna drink? I said, beer. Say, go sit down and drink some water. And I sat there and I drank the water and I went to sleep. From then, I told myself, I said, God, I will not pick up another beer again. But I
Okay.
was lying to myself.
Yes, we all lie to ourselves the morning after, don't we?
Oh, safe space, drink.
Yes, we can share.
Okay, I feel better now.
We're here for you, brother.
We're
Mom, I'm
validating
sorry,
your
Mom.
experience.
I'm sorry, Mom.
For my first one, I can't give you my age. I want to say 16,
Yeah,
but I'm probably wrong.
right.
But one thing I do know is that when I did it, I'm actually strategic about it. I never got home. I just crashed at somebody else's place, you know what I mean?
That is nice. That is more
Like, follow me for more life hacks.
That
right?
number sleepover, like,
But
yeah.
just, then that way there is no
Make
disappointment.
that
in
be
the
somebody parents' stress, not your
Yeah, like
parents'
they
stress.
only ask me for like 4 times out of the year, you know? And then, I mean, what are they? Mine's the like
Yeah,
every day.
Every day, bro.
right.
Couldn't swing that, so
That is smart.
yeah.
Do you
That's
guys'
very
parents still like check? I mean, I know you're the youngest here, you're 20, but
Yeah, they give up on me a long time ago. And I give up on me a long time ago. Like, it's fine, get drunk.
so they still say don't check in on you at all when you're drinking.
I not gotten home from 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Oh, that's crazy.
And I don't receive a call from it yet.
That's-
Hi, parents.
hi, mom and dad. She's okay.
I'm fine.
She's on TV. She's made it. How about you guys? So what parents? You guys are boys, so it's different.
Yeah, it's different. For me, my mom, she was very protective, like when I was like a teenager. But now, like it's different. Like the only message I get from my mom when I go drink is make sure you eat before you come home. That's it.
Make sure
Nothing
you
else.
eat.
Make sure you eat.
Yeah.
Make sure you eat, because nothing out there gonna come back and say, okay, mom, no problem. Drive safe. All right, cool. And that's the conversation until morning. And
It's funny that you said that because I feel like that kind of a stigma when it comes to like guys, like the parents might just automatically give
Thank you.
one certain kind of freedom
Yep.
or something like that. But in reality, or at least I can speak on my behalf, that's not really the case. Like from 16, like when like my mom actually find out that I had to go out and I had to drink and stuff, and even to now at the age of 27, like I could be out and I will still get the text like, "You okay?
You're-
What you did?
Aw.
You alright?" And I had to like,
Cute.
yeah, like I'm good. And then I would just take my phone and then like show my friend, I bet you see this man will fucking love me. Like, no, like the thing is, you either embarrassed by it or you appreciate it. But me
Right.
personally, I appreciate it.
Right.
That's my thing. Like, never stop. I could be like 42 and you could be like, you good? Yes, mom, I good. I will be home by 10.
But you know what I think about all the time is like, why we have to get drunk for have fun?
We don't have to get drunk.
You know, like,
Wait,
why,
yes,
like, when do you, okay, for me, I won't always say for me, because I feel like I old hawks over here. I don't party, I'm retired. I'm a retired hot gal. A retired
Retired
party
gal.
gal.
Okay. You could never retire.
I attend events, I don't just go out. Thank you very much. That's a lie. I'm probably going out tonight. But
I got the first round.
wait, I mean, okay. So, okay, for me, it's like if I get drunk, then the party done. Like, I know at this point in my life, I do not drink to get drunk. I don't even drink to like get high. I drink for taste.
Pretty.
Like now I drink for taste. And I
That's
think
fancy.
that happens,
Just wet your
happens,
tongue.
you know.
Yeah.
So like, you know when you say red tap, like,
This is Andrea whole night.
Yeah.
we just can't do that. Oh,
Yes.
oh, it's just water, guys.
The Lee whiff.
Interesting. Nice.
Belikin.
The weekend.
7%
For
alcohol.
me, I can't. If I drink, I can't count after 2.
Okay.
So if I say I will take one drink, I will count that one drink, and then I say, okay, give me the next one. That 2. Then I start at the 1.
Oh,
So technically, I
I
don't.
See that reset.
You stay at 2.
Exactly. I stay at
So
2.
reset. Okay.
Exactly.
So
I feel like I'm different.
you're when you know you had enough ones or twos.
You don't. That's the point. You go.
You just go straight
Like I said
through.
before, you start sitting down. So if you, at the moment you get up, I'm talking if I've got a bathroom. If you've got a bathroom, you can't tell her left and right, then it's time to go home.
I have witnessed this.
It's time to go home.
Okay.
He's attended events
Simple.
that I've been. He
Yeah.
comes sitting down from 5, happy hour. He leaves like after 2:30, and you know when when he gone for himself. Yo, dog, when the next mix? I need the next mix. I just make you know. And I like drive safe, Keeson. Drive safe. You could circle upon the strip, man. Down the skin out on the strip with 2 unknown themes. I'm telling you, man. But
This
they got-
story just
party is
make
life,
me
man.
dehydrated. Like
I'm
I
just
just
saying.
I need to drink water. I can't. Nope.
You taste your water too, like your rum?
I don't know. I feel like if I keep to 2 drinks, that's my drink. A Belican beer on one hand, a shot of tequila on the next. Are we good? If I put anything in between then there, that's when I will get drunk. So I don't do that.
Right.
So you just don't mix it.
Don't mix.
And keep to my Belican and my tequila and we fine.
Yeah.
Don't give me whiskey. I'm good. I refuse whiskey.
For real? No, that's my drink.
No.
Whiskey and coconut water?
And me,
That's it. All night.
friends.
Veteran drink.
Mark
Got a
Kirby
veteran
beverage
drink.
right there with that fresh coconut water. Yeah.
I could never drink whiskey and coconut water. What?
I drink whiskey.
No.
How do you do that?
It's delicious.
Is
You-
it?
It's like you're doing 2 things at the same time. You're replacing your electrolytes, and you're also
Oh,
like
God.
big D energy girl all night.
There's a
So like
science
it's like yay,
behind the man.
yay. You know. Okay, so let's move on. In Belize, apart from your drink clearly till you're drunk or you don't know, like you lost your sense of direction.
That's the point.
We also have backway culture. So the night isn't fun until you backway somebody.
Somebody's son going get.
Somebody's son.
Oh my God.
Somebody's son get backway. Clarks? With a squirm.
No, I good. The
Back
Cushion
with
shows
culture.
that
It's
What
just
do you
that
think
okay.
about backway culture, Clarks? And how much your backway? Till you had a good time.
At once?
Off the
water.
record.
Off the record.
Off the record here. So that is just part of the partying, guys. You just have to understand that the whole life work, that Belize and everywhere else. But we did at Belize, so I thought about how it worked at Belize, right? So basically, it's a given. You go, she go, they might not know each other. That don't really matter. You don't really care. You just need to make sure that she over the age of 18 and consent, and like that friction just happen and just see each other when they end up at the bar. you might buy she a leave bad man or something like
Yup,
that.
bad
Check.
man.
Because that way they sell back at the bar, you know.
Bad man.
Yeah. Once you call it the bartender, he don't know where to go and he make you know, dog, this is the strongest thing. This is the strongest thing and this is what we the drink tonight. So baby girl, we the cheers.
Okay.
And after you done consume your liquor, and you start feel extra loving and emotional, and if they got you a hard time and you conveniently they got you a hard time too, it's only right that you guys just, just end off the night together and cancel out each other hard time and just have a good time.
Okay. That's beautiful because you the back for yourself. You the back way together.
Yes.
Okay, but what about
That's what it was.
and
that
I will
what
ask
end the
Wendy,
statement.
right? What about when you have had a lot to drink
Oh, God.
and it's about that time for the call, or you are at that level and there's somebody that's trying to hit on you, but like at that point you're at the place where you want to say yes or you want to say yes. Like what?
It's a yes or a yes or a
It's a yes or a yes. I mean, do you feel like it's something that like we allow ourselves to do? Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna drink. It's fine.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
I always tell my friends there's two types of drunk. There's sloppy drunk and then there's regular drunk.
The sloppy drunk and a regular drunk.
If you're sloppy drunk, anybody will carry you home. That's not a consent. Let's get that clear. That's not a consent.
Right.
Once you're just drunk and you're cool, like you could
Yeah.
walk, you could clear the room, not a spin. It's fine.
Okay.
You
So there's
compare me
definitely a meter, right?
Definitely.
So there's like,
Yes.
so there's a point where I personally have lost all of my
Yeah.
inhibitions. I've lost all of my inhibitions, and that's the scary part. But then there's still a I guess a level where you're still in control of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And how do you learn to master that? Because I think a lot of people still have a lot of problem with that. When do you know that, okay, this is my point, I can't pass this, or else I am no longer in control of my person?
I feel like, well, personally, I could speak for myself, that my body tells me when I really, really drunk, because like, okay, my fingertips start getting really freaking numb. I don't know if it happens to only me, but my fingertips get really numb. And I'll be like, okay, it's time for me to slow down. Let me just get lone beers after this, no more tequila shots. Off the table, no more tequila shots. And then, then I want to call somebody, maybe a bit in. But then I know when to stop.
How about the boys? When do you guys know?
I feel like for me personally, it kind of boiled down to just you. Like, you have to know yourself. There's really no advice that you could give somebody to make them know like where their limit is. You know yourself. You know what you can handle. You know where your limit is. I've seen people get drunk off of 3 regular beers. I've seen people man entire crates of beer. It really just boiled down to knowing yourself and realistically knowing if you want to stop.
Right.
Me, when I'm younger, the night does definitely be about the drunk. It definitely, like, it had to end with the boss up. Like, it had to end with the boss up. Like, I had to talk, just out,
Yeah.
dead. And same thing with the back way.
I
And now, if I feel the vibe, tipsy no matter. Tipsy no matter. Tipsy does just a sign of a good time.
Yeah.
Tipsy does a sign of a good time. But drunk now, they're like,
don't do that.
bartender, 3 water for the table. Like, that's just it for me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, so
We still talk about the backward thing.
we just talk about like now. I feel like we're talking about when do you have to make yourself accountable, or you like if you're sober or less drunk than your friends or the people around you, like because I feel like when you're drunk, that one bad thing happen. Like many a time I know Max's and big fight that happen outside because
People drunk.
Yep.
people get too drunk and so one say the next one and then they fight and
That could be
thing
the
make
third.
news of sometimes.
Aggressive drunk.
I don't like that. I hate aggressive people. with
Right.
drunk.
So at what point do you keep your people around you accountable? Because you drink till you're drunk, but then not everybody is
More
happy-go-lucky
responsible,
drunk. Some people cry. Some people, get
I
aggressive.
feel like people like that go more in like in crowds. So like people go monitor them. 'Cause like if you know when you drink you get like out of control or what's not, you will go with friends. And I feel like it all depends on your crowd. really. Because if you have good friends, your friends will tell you, cut that out.
They'll straighten you out.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like,
drink some
okay,
water.
you don't need
Yeah.
no more drinks. Let's
Yeah.
get some water.
They're
Take all your
not,
drink
they're not
man.
afraid to love you like that.
Yeah.
They're not the kind of friends you want. The ones
Yeah.
then who like they want
Till you stop
be
drinking.
with you on your highs, but they want to straighten you out when they're on your lows.
And
Like,
it's hard
they're
to
not
find
the
friends
kinds
like
you
that when
want.
you're young. Because I know people who are young, but like younger than me, where like have friends who will literally make them get passed out drunk and then get so mad at how they are drunk and they try to drag them out of the club by force. And then that's not cool. You can't make your friend look bad.
Yeah.
I have a question for the boys because I have to ask this question, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you've seen maybe one of your guy friends take home a girl that's too drunk to consent? Has that ever been a situation, and like, have you ever found yourself in that kind of situation?
No, because I have my smally circle where I surround myself with, because at the end of the day, I want people where I trust and where we could relate to each other. Like I condition myself for I not get drunk. Like I might socialize with you guys. It might look like I had a drink, but in reality, I probably just have the same drink since we meet. So my job, I guess, as the older guy in my group or whatever the case may be, I basically just monitor how everything goes and so forth, and I instill that like the moral, like have my group have the moral like, oh yo, when my girl reach to a certain extent, like no, like that need turn me on. That for be honest with you, if I see a sloppy drunk kind of girl, like
That could be
that throw me off. Like you have to got your wits with you at least.
You kind of want to help them more than
Yeah,
care.
you know, and that why I guess like I more gravitate towards having female best friends as well, because they know the person I am. Like I know I make that happen to them as well, you know.
to me, I think everyone, when you go out with some kind of motive, right? As a woman, I feel like women go out, like they would go out, okay, to have fun with friends or to get intoxicated. And all about the body language, like you could tell when somebody intoxicated or when somebody sloppy drunk. Like you could tell by the whole body language.
Correct.
So like it all depends on like if guys find like, they do have guys who find like, okay, this person drunk, so I could like, put myself on this person, and that's them. That like that total. I feel like that a whole different. I feel like that a whole different topic on its own.
Right.
But like you could tell
Yeah,
people go to club.
it's-
Some guys go to club. Feel like back way or like what?
Predator type. Movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel like one spell, I think like people would date, like guys would date great girls in clubs. Like what, like once upon
No,
a time that was a thing. And it's,
I
I
feel
mean,
like that-
obviously it's still a thing.
Well,
and
since
it's always
COVID,
gonna be a thing.
You know what I'm really
How do you
afraid of?
like worry? Because I think sometimes we're like
No,
too
I-
free.
I-
Like we don't worry about those things enough.
Something that I'm really passionate about, people buying me drinks.
Yeah.
I had guys, very older men, buy me drinks, but before they come to me, they will go all the way around the club and then come back at me. I will never drink that. I could buy my own drink. I will not take a sip out of that. And I see that happen to many girls, like literally. I advise girls, watch where you get and watch where they bring you, because they want to go from there to yeah. Even that I'm afraid of, but like going all the way around and come back, that's a no-no.
Also, watch what you accept too, because I mean, like I think when you take a drink from a guy, usually they feel like, okay, well, let me and you.
Yes.
Especially when you wear like drink
Like
top
I
shelf.
made an
What?
investment. I feel like they make an investment, they need a return.
Like,
Yeah.
they make like a business transaction. Like, it's so
You
weird
have to
how
make
the
it
mindset
clear though.
is
I'll be like, you want to buy me a drink? I could buy you a drink afterwards.
Right.
Let's get this clear.
amicable.
Yes,
Well,
because
on
some,
that note, ladies and gents, let's calm down, because when we get into it, we need to go on a commercial break. But when we come back, we're gonna continue this chat, and we're gonna dive a little deeper into those skeletons that you guys have in your closets.
Warning: the following contains content intended for older audiences and may contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Taboo Talks. I'm your host, Drea. And today we're going to talk about partying and everything from pre-partying to goma to bad decisions to good decisions to amazing experiences. Everything under the sun. Or night. Or actually, that's another question. Day drinking or night drinking? I'm a day drinker.
Different vibe.
Different vibe, right?
That's
Two
the
different
vibe.
vibes.
Yeah, all the time.
Right?
I think two of the vibes are nice to me.
The
Love
trick.
it. Same.
The
I
trick
agree,
to
I
it, guys.
love it.
I have all the tricks, guys. I have all the tricks.
What's the trick?
The trick is to drink the day and go into the night, so experiencing
Wow.
both. That is a trick.
I have to
That's-
talk to
that's-
Keisha's
that's-
parents.
I know, right?
That's
I need to talk to
professional.
them.
That's
Brilliant.
professional advice.
Professional.
Indeed,
I do not
I
lie.
to charge.
That's professional.
Way to open up, way to make a
100%.
book.
That's like getting ready for a carnival. That's like actually
You should
doing
be-
carnival.
That's exactly. That's a
Like-
perfect example.
Word, like-
Carnival.
Tell everybody the drinking story because he did a DJ. Like he just start right there now.
When he made a thought, just know I'm in the one day if this dude side business after like write vows. I'm like, what the hell is
I just
man?
very
I
observant.
met this thing so like he both for like propose and like, what?
Like being.
He's a
this
romantic drunk.
So,
Ah,
being a sober guy when I drink, like people don't believe that hard at DJ and I don't drink like that.
Yeah,
Like
he not
people-
drink.
But it's
I
your
don't believe
job.
that.
How are you
Clarks,
gonna
no.
be rated? Like it's your job. They're not like you go party, you go work. I get
Yeah,
it.
and I guess being what DJ, where I say everything, I say I want to bust up, I want to go on, want to like I invite the
You got-
people where you drink every.
You got the receipts?
I invite the people where drink every time I go. Hang at me and be sober for one night.
Impossible.
And watch. No. This is the incentive. Watch how people go on.
Yeah.
That's how you go on.
do
And
that
you
all the time.
will be self-conscious after
Kinda-
a while and be
kinda
like,
It's
yo.
true. It's true. The perspective from the DJ booth is like you are the master. Like
For real, bro.
like that. I think that's why I like the behind the DJ booth. Anytime I go, like because that's where I am.
You
Like,
see everything.
one.
I go behind the DJ booth too, but I still drunk.
I actually decided that like drunk are just not really the way if you go.
It's not.
Yeah.
Like, after
It's really
after one
not.
point when you and I think it
No
always
offense,
happen-
Kisan.
I don't
It's
get
really-
drunk.
Oh yeah, no.
Man, I don't get drunk.
drunk.
I just show that crossing just so I legit watch his left eye how back in a tear just know what I said. I don't mean that, bro.
I book
honestly
on a
don't mean that.
margarita in the store.
But all I say is that like they come a point where like you watch the behavior one too many times that you think to yourself that just not a way to go, you know, like nothing wrong with the drink, nothing wrong with the having a good time, but just knowing to dial it back
Right.
is kind of like the mantra you want at some point.
When we're talking about responsibility, like the people that
Go
you
drinking with.
drink with, like
Yeah,
I've been in a
that's true.
situation where I thought I was in a like
Safe
safe place, and nothing really happened to me, but the shaming and the you made behave like I'm ashamed of you, like like I've been in that situation where
they
you're
look down
judged
on you, yeah.
for
And I
your
think-
drunk personality.
Correct.
I've been a
Because drunk personality come out, like like you have
a different
an
fun
alter
person.
ego when you dey drink, really and truly. I don't know my one name, but it's
kinda-
kind of
it kinda
it's kind of
help you
slutty.
learn
It's kind of
who-
slutty.
It kind of helps you in some ways.
I call
learn
mine's
who
Brittany.
Yeah,
Like
Mine's Brittany.
I don't want happy drunk. Me. I don't want happy drunk.
me too. I don't want loving drunk.
I'm
for real.
I don't really confrontational now, but back then, yeah. But now, I don't want happy drunk. Like I literally just want to be about the company, the music, the vibe. That mainly it.
Let's go into something a little more, risque.
Oy.
Okay, you guys can share if you want to. I
Okay.
mean, I personally, feel like everybody picks their poison. Everybody chooses, what works for them and what makes them have a good time. But what have you guys ever mixed, with, let's say, more illicit drugs? Like I know, like enough people go do coke in at the back. You know what I
That's
mean?
obvious.
The
That's
always
obvious.
top of the toilet
You know
reservoir.
what
I
I
don't know
mean?
why.
Yeah, why in the
Toilet reservoir
toilet?
is
That's
just
kind of
This is
gross.
more private,
I know
man.
that
You want
way.
the in there.
So weird.
Have you ever experienced maybe the behavior of somebody, or people just openly snorting in front of you?
I've never done any illicit drugs. I can't even take like 3 Tylenol pills, to be honest. But I've had like a couple. I mean, like party acquaintances, that doing their own business or what's not.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like I don't know, the illicit drugs, not for me.
Not
You're
for
not
you.
necessary.
No, I don't,
Not
you're not
really,
necessary.
you know about it.
Yeah.
I try not to
I don't like the
judge it. I
vibe.
mean, I definitely can't judge because, like, you know, I have friends that like do shrooms and stuff like that. I mean, I forevermore will be a pothead and like I would have preferred smoke before I drink. Actually, you know what I mean? That's actually a rule for me. I want to smoke and then I want to have a few drinks and I'll smoke again. So tomorrow I don't have goma. But I do feel uncomfortable around it because I feel like it's kind of dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, so you
illegal.
smoke and you drink and you don't catch goma?
No, actually, when I smoke and I have goma,
Life
it makes
hack.
That
Would you
opposite.
put that
No,
in
that
the book?
opposite. I don't do that.
No?
I don't
Okay,
do
when I
that.
put that in.
Right? No, that
worked for you.
That worked for
That-
me.
okay.
I don't know about anybody else that worked for me. Nobody
does not.
come
It
for
does
me.
not.
The last
please.
time I smoked
put that way
and
back to
drink,
my book.
I end up on the floor and I end up on the floor, right? I smoke and drink, and last time I end up on the floor to vomit. Like I vomit. I can't even stand up. Like so me.
Well, you drink till you're drunk, man. That's the
I'm not
thing.
drunk. I'm not drunk. Like I just drink, and then I gotta smoke. And then all of a sudden I get high. Like you know when you're not smoking, you get high.
Yeah.
And when I get high,
But that's
that
not
like
the order. You start to smoke. Yeah. Then you drink.
then I
right?
smoke. But I do that
Then
backwards.
smoke.
I drink, then I smoke. But anyways, I end up on the ground next to pass out. My brother could ask me the most stupidest questions. I can't even talk. And he ask
So that
me,
makes sense.
"You alright? I look alright, bro. I'm not alright." Like
When I do that, like when I smoke, when I drink and then I smoke, I'll be so quiet. I'll be like,
Me too.
I can't hold a conversation. I'll be like,
I got at least ridiculous.
And then I have a
smile,
smile,
so,
yes,
yeah.
and my eyes are so red, like my eyes are red. So you see in my eyes, I'll be like,
Be like, when do you alright?
I'll be like,
Like you are so alright. Like
Like,
you don't look alright.
yeah.
That's how I feel too. When
like I'm good till at that point I can't see myself.
This would be a hilarious one for like when my friends said this particular part. If I wanna stick with it long enough to see this particular part.
all right.
I can't do weed. I can't. Just by design, I can't.
You can imagine how funny he'd be if he high.
I can see his face get red.
Let's try it.
Let's. I got you.
Legally, I have to limit myself to weed once a year.
Oh,
Just
okay.
once a year.
Just the
Usually I do
420.
it on like New Year's. Other
Oh, New
times,
Year's,
like,
okay.
but the reason is I don't like smoke it. I like eat it.
Oh, yes, I eat that.
First time I tried that. Oh,
No, like
That's
for real, like,
bro.
That
I love.
That's
Like
you
you
don't
eat it
smoke
raw.
and then you want to eat it.
Like you eat it
Just
raw.
going out in at the field and just go, oh, weed. And
Pick on the buds.
no, like,
It's like
No,
you eat it raw or
but
like
like-
yeah, stuff like brownies.
brownies and then
Crisp.
fudge.
Edible.
But the reason, right, and I'll just give you one, because then I'm a 3. I don't know why I'm a take 3 for my kind of land enough to do it, but 3. Right? So the third one and final one, damn it, New Year's circa 2016, I believe, at Orange Rock, and one of my friends, he make the best brownies, right, ever. Brownies.
Link me. Tell me.
Right? So he care. And then all the women to chill out, women to play Monopoly.
Wow,
Which-
interesting.
yeah, the slap weed and Monopoly kind of hype if
Have
you
a count.
like,
I mean,
That sounds amazing.
no,
Actually,
it
I've never
tight,
played
it
Monopoly
wicked,
high.
It wicked. And with the right people, it just that a bomb. But I digress. Right. So I had one, but I found out that that meant one significant amount of hydro gone into it. Right. But I find that out during my said one. But that's fine. I mean, that one. After that, like 15, 20 minutes, I just start left myself.
Even though
Like we the play.
He said, I start lifting.
Yeah, like I
myself.
start left
being just
myself,
gone.
like you're conscious, but your body just know to do what you want to do, right? So like, and then me now when I get high, I just get quiet and I just grin, right? Like you could just go like, Robin, you alright?
I could
And then yeah, right. So now
different type.
I still know I'm straight because how I know I'm straight is that one of the people with me to play, she land on her own property and she hurry belt her friend at the dice so she never had to pay herself. Right, so I know I'm straight. I know I'm good. But then I get hungry.
Yes, and then you eat the next one.
But damn it, the hoe. Damn it, the hoe.
You're
But
so
we can not
excited.
she follow and I love the enthusiasm, but yeah.
Because I've been there.
Right? So I get like
Excited,
dead
excited.
hungry, but we never order food yet. Right? So my friend, he's like, oh boy, I got you. And then he get up and he go into the kitchen and I like, he not a real one. He not a real friend, true trooper. I want to invite him to my wedding. And then he come back and he like, Rob, huh? And I like, and I like, thanks, bro. And then like I start like, and I like,
What is this?
why this dry? Right? And I like, why this so dry, right? And bro, I look down and this ass literally give me another brownie. Right? And I had to watch it, right? But then you know, like, you ever watch Anchorman 2? When like he drink one entire bottle of ketchup because he me blind, but he never know, right? That's how simple I may feel when I do that, because like I done that like halfway through this brownie and I like, oh my God, you just give me
It's
one
the
another
special
brownie.
one.
And after that, like Monopoly, New Year's, life, just different, but the fireworks are made a bomb.
Yes, can you imagine how he must me feel? I'm like, how you may feel on a ship.
I'm so stupid high that when I'm the fireworks go, I'm actually to give them like characteristics. Like every time I go about, I go, bam, and then like,
They feel like the best fireworks in a or fireworks.
bro, I'm in the vibe, but once a year now.
Alright.
I couldn't do last year because.
So how do you guys keep the balance then? So like, okay, how you keep your balance? Because you can't just play all day.
Not being an alcoholic or smoke weed really make my mindset very clear and make I see things vivid and I wine life when I go out for the night. I don't want nobody take no picture, no video, no nothing out of order because keep in mind next week again you have to see me right there again the DJ phone. So I'll be like, oh, that a jogging DJ. And then right away my girls' points go down. You know?
Right.
Well, my method is pretty simple, guys. I keep my balance by looking at my bank account balance. If a bank account balance.
Hashtag the relevance.
That
Accurate.
that will keep you in check, you know? If you say you want to go out, your bank account can tell you, no, cut that shit out immediately.
Yeah, we need to cut it.
That'll make us stay home.
I actually know people who capable of get Project X level nights and then gone out at like $1.
Well, if you're a girl, that's
That
easier.
interesting.
That is true.
I mean, it depends on the vibe, though. But
Like I know, I used to do it. I didn't even know how the hell I used to party so much at college, and I never had a job. And my
As one of those drink red top.
I know, like you had no standards back then. With that Spuddy.
Smirnoff.
Bring
I
that.
can't listen. I can't. When I watch a girl drink a Smirnoff, I'm like, how do you drink that?
what happened to that?
Ew! Like,
Dare you bring up the red top?
you're offended.
So confidentiality just don't make like it just.
Hey, no, but
First of all,
back then,
y'all said it on air.
no, back then you could have a party and the girl is sit the red top to go in at the 5 gallon and it's done.
Yeah, they are
no, you
cheering,
invite
yeah.
these females.
It's so wild.
That
but
are way to drink.
Red top?
First,
Bro,
You don't drink red top?
ask me if I drink red top.
Red top.
I look like I drink red top.
Listen, red top has no face.
He says red top has no
one
Red
drink.
top has the mere
Wait, what's the name of the other thing you guys said? Something
Batman?
Jankro?
Oh, Janko Bate.
Jankro. What that one Jankro Bati?
Is gold rum?
Connoisseurs are rum.
Yeah.
Would I know that John Crabate that apparently Rivian, and if I remember correctly, that Coke.
Arabian and Coke.
And
now,
Arabian.
Jankro Bati.
Literally never in my
You don't
life
just peep across the fence.
gone
like
to
that.
a bar or a club and then like when somebody walk up, like if I didn't wait for a beer, somebody go, boy, I can't get a John Crabate. I just watch it like, what? What you?
One Janko Bate, bro.
What do I want John?
But yes, guys, back on red top topic, right?
Oh my god.
We could have 2 cups of juice right now. This is our regular cup.
Red topic.
Like that. Point is, the red top untraceable. You need to know that near drink until.
Okay, it just tastes like juice.
It's not just like juice. I just want more and more and more until you figure out like I'm drunk.
Red top
Okay.
are one of the things where like you know,
kind of
like
party
they're like
would
cooking.
have
So
one?
check it out. They're like cooking. Like you have some ingredients where on their own asked, but when you make it
I feel.
with the right things, like when you make it the right way, you're wicked.
All right, well, let's hold our thoughts on red top real quick because my insides are now melting. When we come back from commercial break, we're going to speak to special guest Sean Escobar and he'll let us know why we should not be drinking red top. Stay tuned.
Warning: the following contains content intended for older audiences and may contain strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Taboo Talks. I'm Drea Renault. You should know that by now. Tonight on Taboo Talks, we're talking all about the party culture here in Belize, but partying with some sense. That's why we've invited our good friend, Sean Escobar, a medical student in Cuba, who has had his fair share of experience with, that little bit of irresponsibility that takes you to the ER. He was a first responder with birth ambulances. And we're so excited to have you all the way from Cuba. Sean, welcome to Taboo Talks. Hey.
Hey, how are you guys?
What's up? Not a long time, boy.
I know, right? I've been here, been studying a lot, being very tired, and just hoping that I can go home.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not keep you. Let me ask you a question. I mean, you are relatively young. You're a young person. This show is made for young people. What are your concerns about, the alcohol culture that we do have? Like, people don't realize that alcohol poisoning is a thing. What are your concerns in regards to that?
When it comes to alcohol poisoning, you're able to hear me well, I'm assuming.
Yes.
When we talk about alcohol poisoning, we have to talk about the pathophysiology of it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you ingest alcohol, a lot of people don't realize that about 20% is absorbed actually through the stomach lining.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the persons that are on the show right now mentioned that eating really does help, and it does.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because when you eat, you activate the pyloric sphincter of the stomach that controls contents from the stomach going into the small intestine. So when you have food in, you limit the amount of alcohol that goes from the stomach into the small intestine to be absorbed. And you also limit the quantity of alcohol that's absorbed directly into the bloodstream from the small intestine. When alcohol moves to the bloodstream, it goes to the liver where it can be metabolized, basically broken down until it forms water and carbon dioxide. But it also enters the bloodstream, going to the heart, lungs, brains, and all over the body.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the effect starts to take place. At the heart, it slows down the heart rate and it vasodilates. It means basically the blood vessels get wider and your pressure would tend to drop down. When it reaches the lungs, this is why when you breathe, when someone that's really, really inebriated or really, really drunk, or they bust up basically, when they breathe out, you can smell that alcohol coming from the breath because it goes from the circulatory system to the lungs and outside. When it's in the brain, that's where all the effects happen, that drunken behavior. Why? Because it acts on two neurotransmitters, basically. GABA, which is like the brakes for the body, it slows down everything, and glutamate, which ups everything. It's excitatory, right? Mm-hmm. So when you drink alcohol, GABA goes up and glutamate goes down. Mm-hmm. So that's why people under the influence tend to be more relaxed and sedative, and they want to take a break, or they feel more tranquilo, They're in the state, they're more without tension. Mm-hmm. But it also causes a burst of dopamine, and dopamine is for pleasure. So this is why when you're drinking, people tend to feel good. Mm-hmm. It also releases endorphins, which makes you feel more relaxed as well. This is why people tend to feel euphoric when they're drinking. They're like, yes, I feel good, and I don't have no much stress. Mm-hmm. And that's the drunken behavior, because it affects the different parts of the brain, like memory, for movement, for balance, for coordination. And this really affects the slowing down of signals or reception of signals is what causes people to, how do I put this? To perceive less, to feel less, and especially affect your formation of memory when it gets bad. Mm-hmm. And alcohol poisoning, when I was working as a paramedic for birth ambulance, one of the biggest things we look for in serious cases were if they're passed out. Why? Because alcohol is a drug that's a depressant. Depressant means it slows down everything in the body, right? Mm-hmm. So it affects the central nervous system, and it basically tells the central nervous system controls everything, like your breathing. So once that's depressed, your breathing is slowed down, but severe alcohol poisoning up to intoxication, you can also cause that person to stop breathing, and you can cause them to cause effects such as vomiting, such as they're feeling really dizzy or they're not able to form memories. It also affects the judgment center of the brain. So that really does play a role in how much they would go about drinking.
Okay, so let me
So this
ask
is
you this
why.
really quickly, Sean.
Go ahead.
So, we, I mean, we've all experienced what being inebriated really is. We experienced what, the sickness is after. But what level, at what, because I've felt like I am dying. I'm literally dying before. That's how Goma feels. But
Yeah, definitely.
what's the difference between, your body basically, trying to, I guess, eliminate the toxin that is the alcohol, which is the Goma, compared to alcohol poisoning? Like, where is that threshold? Like, how much alcohol are you drinking to get to the poisoning?
Well, the thing is, that answer varies on person to person based on their level of how much they can take, how much they can handle. And for example, women have less blood on average than men, and so they would tend to be get drunk a lot faster, then, right? In comparison, just because of the volume of blood. Some people have enzymes that break down alcohol more faster, and all of that takes in place. But at what point do you feel drunk versus alcohol poisoning is on that person, how they're presenting. Why? Because that person will be from sedative and relaxed to probably they're falling asleep to probably they're passed out. They're not able to even feel you hitting them, touching them, or you're not able to get a response from them. And you can also, if it's really, really bad, you'll know that person is starting to vomit because the body will recognize the alcohol as poison and try to take it out by vomiting. But if that doesn't work, or if it gets so bad to the point of poisoning and intoxication of it completely, that person will stop breathing. Once they stop breathing, no oxygen, causing brain death, and that person can die of alcohol poisoning.
Okay.
One person on the show also messaged taking marijuana at the same time. That can be a little bit tricky because it does boost the effects. I will admit.
You're debunking my my tip.
No, I will agree. I'm gonna agree with you. It does boost the effect. Why? Because alcohol vasodilates, right? So it makes the blood vessels more wider. And THC, that means THC can escape the blood vessels and bind with other things more easily, more readily.
Yeah.
But what THC does, what marijuana does, is that it suppresses vomiting. So if someone is drinking excessively, causing alcohol poisoning, and they're not able to vomit, all that alcohol will stay in their body, causing more damage.
Right.
So that's just a little mixture that those two can do.
Okay. So essentially, when I will replace my tip with, if you feel like you've drunk too much, go to the bathroom and vomit like all the way to it.
No, yeah,
Just
you can
force-
do that.
force
That
it
really
out.
does help. It does take out the alcohol, and that's really helpful. Because when they're passed out drunk, what happens is that they're not able to tell when they're vomiting, and they're not able to tell when they're choking.
Right.
Let's say I'm drunk, I'm passed out, especially when my face is up and I'm vomiting. I'm not gonna be able to turn my head. What does that mean? All of my mouth would be full of vomit, and that can go down into my trachea, into my lungs, causing me to choke. And that's another problem. So when you find someone passed out on the ground drunk, especially vomiting, one of the quickest things to do that you can help, one of the first aid tips, one of my classes, turn them on their side, especially to the left side. That way everything can drain out and you just call for help.
Okay. How commonplace is alcohol poisoning? Like how how many people have you seen that, like, okay, these people are like in the hospital because of alcohol poisoning?
Alcohol poisoning is a little bit difficult to reach. I'm not saying it is not common, but it's not common in terms of I will be going to alcohol call, someone's drunk, and I will be concerned if they're about to suffer cardiac respiratory arrest or not.
Okay.
It's mostly about controlling vomiting and controlling combative or aggressive or belligerent behavior.
Okay.
But I will admit, a lot of the calls that I got in Belize, especially the city, because that's where I work, when it came to violent calls, domestic violent calls, when it came to vehicular accidents,
Right.
a lot of them had alcohol being part of
Involved.
that story.
Right. Right. We were talking about that earlier. We were talking about how it seems that when you're drinking is when the bad things happen, no? When, like, in relation to your time at Bert, how often, or like around when, because I have a theory, right? Around when did you get the most, let's say, road accidents, because we know, related to alcohol?
Some of the worst road accidents that I've been, like I said, have been related to alcohol. And if I had to put a time, I would be putting it around 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. That's when we would get a lot of calls of these road accidents, and it would almost always be someone
driving.
Really, really drunk. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of sad because when you really think about it, it's very commonplace. It's not like the States where, like, you know, they test you and like you're like worried about a DUI. Nobody not worry about no DUI, I believe. You have to worry about reach home. Like, you're drinking, you just like you worry about reach home. And I think every one of us here, I don't know the lie, have been in a situation where on a toe touch and order to drive and you crash your vehicle. Whether it be into the fence, whether it be you're gone in a drain. We've all had that situation, yes or no?
Of course.
Yes or no?
I retain the right to state that that's never my fault.
Right. But and then we accept it. And I feel like this is something that we do culturally. We just allow ourselves to drive under the influence. And we don't realize how dangerous it really is. I am guilty of it.
I am very guilty.
You know what I mean?
Too.
If I can add one thing to this.
Yeah.
One of the more important things when it comes to drunk driving is that, like, remember what I said, alcohol decreases your level of perception, right? You're not realizing as much thing that's going on. But it's not only that, it's because signals are reaching a lot slower to the brain. So even if you wanted to react, even if you perceived it, you wouldn't be having that same cat-like reflexes that you have when you're sober.
How about those people that say that they drive better when they're drunk? Like, I hear people say that all the time.
I hear that too, especially when people allocate it to sleeping as well. I sleep better when I take only 1 or 2.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing, because what happens is that they feel more relaxed because of the alcohol effects. They feel more sedative, they feel more relaxed, they're less stressful, they're not worrying about traffic because that stress level is not there. So they feel that they're driving a lot better.
AKA they're more confident. So they think that they're driving better.
Exactly.
When they're really not. You want to drop in a drain. You want to crash into the sign. Yes, don't do it. Thank you.
Alcohol, other name, liquid confidence, right?
Liquid confidence.
Isn't always a good thing.
That
level of perception is very important. But yeah.
I want to ask my guests if they have any questions for you. Since you have given us the scientific and medical explanation as to what it is to be drunk. Got any questions for Sean in Cuba?
I have a friend that gets the worst hangovers, like the worst. What would be like a natural solution to it?
Yeah, that's the real hangover cure. What's the real hangover cure?
There is none. That's the sad truth, is that the thing is, what you're treating is when you take a Gatorade or when you go eat or when you drink a lot of water, is that you're fixing the symptoms of the after effects of alcohol. Because the liver is doing all the work. The liver is breaking down everything. What you feel is the effect, especially of dehydration. Because once you have severe dehydration, you know when you drink, you use the bathroom a lot? Yeah, that's because you lose a lot of water. When you lose a lot of water, it causes a lot of things. Headaches, for one, because there's a lot less water around the brain, protecting the brain, and the tissues suffer. When you drink a lot and a lot less water, your stomach produces a lot of acids. So that's why you feel nauseous or you feel like a stomach ache. And dehydration also plays a part in light sensitivity. So that bad feeling, and all you're doing really is treating those symptoms. When you fix those symptoms is that when you started feeling a lot better. Like, okay, now I'm hydrated, now I ate something, now I have my ions in balance, like when you take a Gatorade, those things can help fix the symptoms. But one thing a lot of people think is that, let's say you take a certain volume, you're drinking, right? It doesn't matter how much water you drink afterwards, the body will still have to break down that same amount of alcohol. It can decrease the effects, but your body will still have to break down the same amount of alcohol that you put into the system. So in terms of a straight up direct answer to your hangover cure, Treat the
There's none.
symptoms and you'll feel better. There's nothing directly that says that will convert all the alcohol, the remaining alcohol, into a form that won't affect the body. The body, the
Fine.
liver
So
especially, will
all
have
of
to do
the
it on its own.
so all of the B complex and the the liquid IVs and they like, oh, drink another beer, and all of the those, that's all basically, that's what you're saying.
Not directly. The B complex, the Gatorade, the IVs, those help to replace the balances that you lost when you're drinking. Because your body burns a lot of energy, so that's why you feel weak, that's why you feel dizzy afterwards. When your body's losing a lot of water, dehydration has a lot of effects, and that's what you're fixing. So you're fixing the symptoms, but not exactly the hangover itself. Because your
All right.
body still has to break down the alcohol. It still has to pass it through the liver. And the
Right.
liver is the only organ that does it efficiently.
Okay. Well, how about this overall?
Okay.
What advice would you give professionally to anybody, or young people especially, who want to enjoy their freedom, have epic nights, but still, reserve some type of responsibility for not just what they're doing, but for their bodies? What advice would you give? Because, I feel like people don't care about their livers here. You not care about your liver. You not care about your liver. You young lady, you're not stay young forever if you keep on a drink like that, period. You, sir, good job. So what advice would you give, the party goers out there? How should you drink? Because I feel like that's something that you learn with experience. So let's give the young drinkers some words of advice. How you start? What's the recipe?
As cliche as it might be, casual drinking isn't a bad thing. And I always say, you drink in moderation, you always see on news, you always see on the advertisements there, and that's good. That's good. It's really good. Drink in moderation. Because continuous drinking will affect your liver, but it affects other things. It can affect how you learn, it affects how you have kids, especially even if you're a man or woman, it does affect that. You can cause birth defects, you can have increased risk of Alzheimer's, cancers, pancreatitis, and a load of different problems. So I'm not even going to get into that part. But the best way to go about it in terms of drinking safely is drinking with moderation. But in terms of safety, like in terms of tips, especially because there's a lot of dangerous people that would take advantage of effects of alcohol, is that using things like the buddy system, that really does help. Having a friend that goes with you everywhere. When you go home, you have a set means of going home, having a designated driver. If you're taking a taxi, don't be scared to get the name of the taxi driver and especially the license plate number.
Yeah.
If you have WhatsApp or if you have an app like Life 360, those can help keep track of your location, especially when you're returning home. But also, since we're on the topic of partying, I would like to address this really briefly. Date rape drugs. Those, I haven't had much cases of those. I've had a few, but not much. Stuff like Rohypnol, GBL or GHB, those are date rape drugs, and they basically mimic the effects of alcohol, but a lot faster. People can feel the effects of these drugs in 5 to 20 minutes, and it's really, really scary because you'll feel confused, you'll feel dizzy, you'll feel your vision will be blurred, and you'll just pass out. You'll physically pass out, and you won't. And it affects these drugs are very dangerous. Why? Because they inhibit the part of the brain that's responsible for memory formation. You won't remember what happens in this time. And so some of my tips would also be, if you're getting drinks, don't accept it from people you don't know.
Right.
Get your drinks directly from the bartender. If it's
100.
a beer, closed can or something, open it yourself. Keep your hands above open containers. If there's something like a punch bowl, like those big bowls where I always have the inside, be mindful of those.
Because they have red tapping in it.
Exactly. And these drugs, these drugs are also very, very easy to hide. Most of them are colorless. Most of them are tasteless.
Yeah.
Some of them, especially if you have a clear drink, you can look into it and it looks a little cloudy. Don't do it. If you taste it and it tastes weird and you're not familiar with that taste, just don't drink it. If it smells weird, don't drink it. And those are just some of the basic tips. And it's really scary that you have to give those tips.
Right. No.
But that's the reality of the situation.
100% the reality of the situation. Well, thank you so much for that advice, Sean. Excellent. 100%. You covered all of the points. And I would like to thank my guests too Thank you so much, guys, for being here tonight. Robin, Keeson, Clarks, Wendy. You know, don't fly out that window, girl. Don't follow him. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're going to go have a drink after this because we deserve it and we've been talking about it for the past 45 minutes.
Yes.
And viewers, we look forward to seeing you back again next week. Remember, Thursdays at 9 o'clock. Follow Colorblind Multimedia on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up with all of the action and the behind the scenes fun. Also follow me on Instagram because we know I'm the famous one here. We know that's what it is. I'm just kidding. Until next week though, thank you. Good night. Bye.